Well, I'm gonna send you a link right now. 1 second.
Hold up 1 minute.
I got it. All right. Shalom Akim. This is the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General Yahanna. As you know, in the U.P.K we teach and we have the information and the evidence that according to the Bible and history that the black man is the real Jew, the black man that was sold to the West Indies, sold, in the North, Central, and the South Americas, all up in the islands, Haiti, wherever we are scattered in the four corners of the earth. We are the real Jews, and we were scattered because we wouldn't serve the Lord, man. We thought it better to follow rocks, to follow wood, to follow Christianity, to follow Islam. And that's why we're in this predicament that we are in right now, man. Because we thought it better to not serve the Lord. And that's why we're in hell dying right now. That's why we're suffering from police harassment right now. But of course, like with anything, there's an answer. And the black man's answers are in the Bible, man. And this Bible that everyone reads, this Bible that is the most sold book on the face of the earth, is not a white man's book. It's a black man's book. And that same book, that same record has the answers for all the black issues that we face, man. So at the U.P.K, we help you if you need counseling, contact the numbers. Whatever you need, we can help it. We are the answer. We're not just pretending to be. We are the answer in the U.P.K. So in the U.K, we do classes 3 times a week, on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, always at the same time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock. And the address is 394 Lodge Road, the postcode B18 5PW. So, if you're in the Birmingham area, it would behoove you to, learn who you are, come right here, learn your history, learn how to fix your life. If you were in the U.P.K, your life is hell, man.
Right.
You can't lie to me like, well, I'm not in the U.P.K, but everything's just fine. You're a liar. No, it's not, man. And the U.P.K, we have those answers. We can fix your kids. We can fix your wife. We can do all things that the pastor cannot do, what your sheikh cannot do, man. And you only get it in one place. That's the I.S.U.P.K. And the tithes. Do remember to pay your 10%. It's a law. The same way you don't eat pig, you ain't into homosexuality, paying your tithes, that's a law also. So, do make sure that you're doing that if you want to serve the Lord also as well. So with that being said, we're going to get into a class today on religion, how religion hasn't got the answers for black people, man. Why? Because many of us, whenever we want to find God, what's the steps that we take? We either join the mosque or a church. And you believe, when I'm there, all my answers, they're going to be there. I'm going to be heard there. I'm going to find God there. And no, you're not, man. And we're going to get into the Bible and history and show you that the 2 biggest religions both hate black people, man. The 2 biggest religions, deep down, they know it's all about their people. If you're following Christianity, then you will, after this class, have to accept the fact that Christianity is for white people, man.
Right.
And if you're a black man in the mosque, you're going to have to accept that Islam is all about the Arabs. And those 2 biggest religions, they are racist religions. And yet we believe whenever we want to find God, that's where we need to go. And what's the common cycle that someone does? First they're in the church. Then what happens? Once they think God ain't in the church, where's the next place they always go? In the mosque. And it's vice versa. If the black man's in the mosque and, he don't believe Allah's his God, what does he do? Join the white man's religion called Christianity. And that's the cycle that we are in. And those 2 religions ain't got the answers. They can't help the lives of black people. They can't fix your sons, your daughters, your wives. They can't fix knife crime, drug dealing, gang crime, You know what I mean, our young ones joining gangs. And in today's class, we're going to get into that as well. You could any one of you just give me Isaiah 48 and the 17th verse. Isaiah 48 and verse 17.
Isaiah 48, verse 17. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer.
Thy who?
Thy Redeemer.
And that's something that black people need to understand, man. The Lord, Yahweh, he's your Redeemer. Now, I know what everyone thinks. Yeah, but he's in the mosque. He's in the church. Our God, our Redeemer, ain't in none of these religions, man. He's not in the mosque. He's not in the church. He's not in the Catholic Church. He's not in the Buddhist temples. He's nowhere to be found in those religions, man. Our God is our Redeemer. What does it mean to redeem someone by your back, man? Although we're in the UK, although we're in Amsterdam, although we're all over the earth in America, Haiti, Orinum, the Lord's going to redeem us, man. He's going to buy us back. He's going to get us out of the mosque, the church, and what we're going to serve him again. The Lord is our Redeemer. Read on.
The Holy One of Israel.
The who?
The Holy One of Israel.
And our Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel, man. Meaning he's the God of only one race of people. Right. He's separate, because that's what the word holy means. He is separate to only Israel, man. And that's something that we need to understand. In this Bible that you read, God is only exclusive to one race of people. And who is that? The Israelites. The Holy One of Israel means he's the God separated for the Israelites, sanctified for the Israelites. And it says it in the Bible, the Holy One of Israel, meaning he's only separated to one race of people. And he's not found in no mosque, no church, no Catholic church, no Seventh-day Adventist church, no Methodist church. He's just your God, the Holy One of Israel. Read on.
I am the Lord thy God, which teaches thee to profit.
He does what?
I am the Lord thy God, which teaches thee to profit.
And that's something that we don't understand. If we serve our God, our Holy One, he learns us how to profit. Now, what does that word mean? If someone says, this thing profits me, what are they trying to say?
The gain.
It's a gain, meaning when we serve the Holy One of Israel, we're going to learn how to have a gain. And imagine that. Black people been in the church for 400 years, been following Islam for basically 60 years, and we haven't had no gains. You mean we think we have, and no, we have not, man. Ever since we've been following these religions, what has happened? We have become divided as a race of people. Right. Drug dealing's gone through the roof ever since this religion of Islam came about, man. Knife crime has gone through the roof now that we follow Islam. Meaning in these religions, there's no gain. But if you serve the Holy One of Israel, he's going to learn us how to have those gains. Right. He's going to learn us to have a kingdom. He's going to learn us how to love your neighbor as yourself. Meanwhile, religion just can't do it, man. Although these religions have many members, they can't teach you any gains. We ain't profiting in these religions, and it's evident. You know what I mean? Some people lie, but not my pastor. My pastor knows the Bible. I learn from him. No, you don't. And you're a liar. All pastors teach the same thing, man. Whether one's got a loud voice, one's quiet, deep voice, high-pitched voice, all of them teach the same thing. And it's a slave concept, man. What you learn in the church is a slave concept. God loving everyone, slave concept. It don't matter who you are, slave concept, man. And in those religions, we don't have no gain. If you're in the mosque, you definitely ain't got any gains, man. You're reading a book where black people were man slaves. What gain is that to you as a black man? Read on.
which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go.
And it says, He leadeth us by the way which thou should go, meaning the Holy One of Israel, the God of blacks, Hispanics, and the native Indians. He leads us where we should go. And what's the way that we should go? The laws, statutes, and commandments, man. That's the way that we should go. And the Lord that we serve, He will lead us there. Not your church, not your imam, not in no mosque. And it's saying it right here. You serve your God. You serve the Holy One of Israel. You're gonna have gains, and you're gonna be led in the right way, man. Now, is that a religion right there? No, it's not. Is that your church right there? No, it's not. Is that your mosque right there? No, it's not, man. Why? Because the God that we serve, He will lead us in the way that we should go. And that's how you know religion ain't the answer, because we are misled in the way that we should go. You know what I mean? If you're in the church, you are misled, man. You are misled in believing God loves everyone. You are misleading Christ came to save everyone. You are misleading, you know what I mean, your forefathers don't matter. When in the same Bible you're meant to be reading, everything you think does not matter, it does matter. And that's what is amazing about these religions right here. They teach you one thing, and in the same book where they're meant to get their info from, the lie is right there. I mean, their lie and the facts is right in the book, and you don't see it, man. Why? Because we are misled in the places that we should go. Read on.
Verse 18. Oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments.
And imagine that. It's like, yeah, imagine that we would have been led in the right way if we would have hearkened unto His commandments. It's saying it right there, man. You follow me, you're going to be led in the right place, man. You're going to have gains only if we would hearken to His commandments. And that's the answer right there, man. That's something that religion can't do for you, man. They can't give you no rules. They can't give you answers. And it's heavy because, like, any religion you're in, us as black people, we suffer, man. Now, people try to downplay it, make it seem small, make it seem light. But black people, we suffer, man. I don't care what no one says. Well, everyone suffers. Slavery ain't just only subject to black people. Germans, they were enslaved at one point. This family of people, they was enslaved at one point. But regardless of all of that, nobody suffers like the Israelites, man. No one suffers like black people. And in these religions, ask your pastor, like, why is it always black people dying and suffering, man? And then from there, even run it down to him, we've been enslaved, our women raped, we're in a land that's not ours. And even till this very day, we are still being oppressed. And you know what I mean? You wait to get an answer from that man, and you won't get one, man. He'll just shrug it off and, well, that was in the past. God forgives them, and we gotta make it work now. But then you gotta go, well, hang on though. If God is all knowing, if God sees everything, then why did this happen? And you know what He's gonna do? He's gonna ignore you. He's gonna just act like, you know what I mean, you're not focusing on the Lord. You're focusing on the earthly things. And what what's that scripture? If you don't understand the earthly things, how can you understand the heavenly things? He'll just fob you off and act like, you know, you're thinking way too much, which means that He ain't no man of God. He ain't got no answers, man. And with your imams, ask him that we've been enslaved and oppressed, and he ain't gonna answer you neither, because Arabs don't like black people. It's not his concern. You mean you're asking him the wrong things, man. Read on.
Then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the waves of the sea.
Meaning we would have had peace. Our peace would have been as a river. Meaning we would have been living in our land peacefully, not suffering in the ghettos in Amsterdam, suffering in the ghettos of the UK, suffering in the ghettos of the West Indies, America, South America, Central America. If we would have served the Lord, we would have had peace. And that's something that religion can never say to you, man. That's something that your pastor, your imam can never ever say to you, man. But we're gonna get back into the Bible, but we're gonna get into some history, showing you that the two biggest religions that we serve hate black people, and these religions are very racist. Although you see black people in the church now, black people in the mosque now, these religions were highly racist towards the people that follow it. You got it for me. Which one you get? You got it all. No, so then let's get the Amazing Grace song first. So all right, in the black church, there's a song that everyone knows, even if you ain't even been in a church. It's the Amazing Grace song. Amazing Grace. How sweet that sounds. But here's the problem: many black people sing that song in ignorance. Many black people don't know the origins of that song. In their mind, it's Amazing Grace. I've found God. I'm found. And that's not what that song is saying. So we're going to get into that, show you that the biggest songs that we sing in the religion called Christianity are even very racist songs. Yeah.
For one, that's how they can see.
Can you see online?
Yes.
All right,
no sweat.
For one, while the song is well-known anthem of the civil rights movement.
Oh, so now with these civil rights, you know what I mean? That's who's it gonna? It's the Martin Luther King, Upton, and them lot. So now, you know what I mean? That's a black thing. It was when black people was fighting for their rights to be treated as good as a white man. Like, you know what I mean? Let me go in your restaurants. I want the same respect. I don't want to sit at the back of the us. So that's what the civil rights was about. And who did that relate to? Black people.
Right.
So now with that song, Amazing Grace, it's a song commonly sung by black people. And in their mind, what do they think? I'm found. I've found God. 1 second. All right. So now with that song, it's commonly sung like, I've found God, Amazing Grace. I was lost. Now I'm found. And in their mind, they look at it as, I was lost. You know what I mean? And now I'm found, like I was lost in the world. I found Jesus. But they don't really know what that song is.
Right. It's original text.
It's what?
Original text.
So original text, meaning the origins of the song. Read on. What's the letter about?
Was written.
Oh, okay.
Its original text was by a former slave trader.
It was written by who?
By a former slave trader.
And imagine that the song that black people sing and thought, that's our song. It was written, meaning a slave trader. He wrote it down, Amazing Grace. How sweet that sound. It was a white man that wrote the song, and it's gonna get even specific into why he even wrote that song. And we think, I was lost and found. I found Jesus, and that's not what that song's saying. Read on.
John Newton was an Anglican priest in England, 1773.
Anglican priest, read on.
When he debuted a hymn to his congregation called Faith, Reviews, and Expectation.
That's now You can even research it. So the original song ain't called Amazing Grace. It's called Faith, E-View, and Expectations. So so now it's nothing we're making up. It's something that's easily accessible. That song that black people sing under the banner of Christianity ain't even a black song, man. It's got nothing to do with black people. A slave owner, a trader, someone that sold slaves, he made that song,
Right.
and we sing it like, Christianity, I'm found. And that shows you that even the Christianity that we follow, it's a slave religion. When you're in the church singing those hymns, you are singing slave master songs, man. That's what you're doing. And you think you're not doing it. You think, nah, that was in the past. You know what I mean? Christianity's came leaps and bounds. And no, it hasn't, man. You are singing slave master songs in the church. Slave master doctrines, they're being taught, man. And that's something that we like to deny. We like to act like that doesn't happen. Anyone that
It's a bit of the John life.
let's grab to that. So we're gonna get into the guy that wrote this. Gonna get into a bit of his life as well, showing you that religion ain't the answer, and religion is a very racist thing. The two biggest religions that we follow have very racist origins towards black people, man. So that's the guy there that wrote the song Amazing Grace.
Oh God. Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace is a Christian hymn published in 1779 with the words written in 1772 by the poet and Anglican clergyman John Newton.
There, so now, why is it no one understands this, man? Why is it that in the church, because my grandmom, she used to sing this song, and why is it no one takes no time out of their life to go, hang on, this song that we sing every weekend, what's the origins? Why do black people sing this? It's because it's a slave song, man. A slave master wrote it for you to sing it, man. And that's something we don't ever think upon. While we're subjects in religion, no one don't think, well, why do we do what we do? We don't.
Newton wrote the words from personal experience.
From what?
Personal experience. He grew up without any particular religious conviction, but his life's path was formed by a variety of twists and coincidences that were often put into motion by others, reactions to what they took as his recliction in subordination. He was pressed into service in the Royal Navy. After leaving the service, he became involved in the Atlantic slave trade.
So now, after he left, fighting and war and all that, he became what side? What's that last bit?
He became involved in the Atlantic slave trade.
So this guy, he was involved in the Atlantic slave trade, selling Israelites, selling black people that sing his song today. Imagine that. In the church, you're singing a slave trader's song, man, and not knowing what he's saying. You sing it and think to you it means something else, but to him it didn't mean what you thought it meant, man. Read on.
In 1742, a violent storm battered his vessel off the coast of the county Dongo Island so severely that he called out for God for mercy.
So now this is where he found God, because a ship that he had, which was packed with us on the bottom, it crashed, and then he called to God, man. He didn't find God, because he thought that the Bible was the way. He called on God because he thought he was about to die on that ship, packed with who? Black slaves, man. Read on.
This marked his spiritual conversion.
So now that marks his spiritual conversion. That's when he goes, you know what? I'm going to join the church. I'm going to serve God in his eyes. But it didn't happen because he looked at life and goes, I need to find God, man. I need to find an answer. It happened when his ship was wrecked and it had us underneath the ship. And then he was scared for his life. not for us who was on the ship, for himself.
Right.
He don't care if you died. You know what I mean? That's not his concern. You're black, you know, you don't matter. But for his life, and that's when he converted into Christianity. Read on.
This moment marked his spiritual conversion, but he continued slave trading.
And he did what?
Continued slave trading.
So that shows you what Christianity is all about, man. He converted to this religion called Christianity and still was selling men slaves, women, children.
Right.
So why would you follow his religion, man? You know, if Christianity was the way, surely it would stop him from doing what he was doing.
Right.
Christianity was the answer. He would go, you know what? According to the Bible, I can't be doing this, man. And he would have stopped it. Although he followed Christianity, he was still involved in slavery, man.
Right.
Which shows that Christianity is a racist religion, man. Meaning there's something he knows that you don't know. Christianity is for white people, man.
Right.
He knew that. And how do we know this? Because when he followed that religion, he still sold you. Meaning he knew that Christianity is for white people, but you ain't involved in this.
Right.
He understood it. You got something?
So like I said, the song is called Amazing Grace. Grace is mercy. So you're talking how graceful God is. Meanwhile, you got me in chains.
There you
So
go.
Who is God really got mercy for? Not me. I'm in chains. So you got mercy for white people?
That's right. There you go. If you can't hear it on the mic, what Officer Crawford said, it was heavy, man. Meaning the song's called Amazing Grace. But for who? You were selling me as a manslave. So the grace must be for white people, man. It's amazing for them, but not for you. God's hearing him, but not you.
Right.
His ship was wrecked. He believes God found him, but God didn't find you, though. You're on that ship packed like sardines. You know what I mean? For how long? 3 months.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're on the ship for 3 months, and God heard him, but he never heard you. Which shows you what? Christianity is a racist religion.
Right.
Christianity is the supremacy of white people, man.
Right.
And that's something that any black man in the church, you need to understand, man. You gotta let it go, man. You gotta stop holding onto a religion that don't like you. You gotta start holding onto a religion that don't love you, man.
Right.
Read on.
That was the other one.
That was it on that. All right, no sweat. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Because what we're going through is in the Bible, man. That as a people, we will be lost. We will be searching. We'll be, going anywhere, trying to follow any religion, trying to follow any ideology to try and find our God. And that's in the Bible also as well. You got it for me, Deuteronomy 28 and 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So now, God, he told the Israelites, it shall come to pass, meaning over a matter of time. So meaning if you don't do what I say over time, read on.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So he's saying, if it shall come to pass, meaning in a matter of time, if you don't hearken unto me, meaning listen, you don't do all these laws, statutes, and commandments which we was commanded that day. Read on.
That all these curses shall come.
All these curses, man. What is a curse? A punishment from God. Look it up in any dictionary. Look it up in the Bible dictionary. A curse in the context of the Bible is a punishment from God. And God told the Israelites, God told our ancestors, if you don't listen to me over time, I'm going to curse you. I'm going to punish you. Skip to verse 28.
Verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
And that's another thing, man. Us as blacks and Hispanics, we are smitten with madness. What does it mean to smite? It means to hit. When you hit someone, you have smited them. And the Lord saying, he's gonna hit us with madness. And of course, on a physical level, many black people do suffer from mental health. That's a fact. But on another level, we are smitten with madness, meaning we serve the religions of our enemies, man.
Right.
Meaning you gotta be mad to do something like that. You're in the church singing Amazing Grace, and that's a slave song. How do we know? We just read about it. And Amazing Grace was sung by a white man whose hand was in slavery as well, man. And he didn't find the song because he found Jesus and selling black people was bad. He found it because he became a Christian because he was shipwrecked on a ship that had black slaves. And the song wasn't for the black people that was on the ship. It was for him saying, I found God, man. I was shipwrecked. I thought I was about to die and God heard me. And he wrote that song, Amazing Grace. And even after he found the religion of Christianity, his hand was in slavery the same way, man. Showing you that Christianity is a religion for white people. He joined that religion and still sold black slaves, showing you that in his mind, Christianity was for white people. Read on.
And blindness.
And blindness. And that's the problem. We try to find God and we're blind in the church. We try to find God and we're blind in the mosque. And this is a curse in the Bible that in the last days, the real Jews, they will suffer with blindness, man. And who's blind like us? Nobody. Who's lost like us? Nobody. And that's the problem. We're blind, we're lost. Read on.
And astonishment of heart.
And astonishment of heart. Can anyone break down what is the astonishment of heart, man? Listen, if anyone can break this down, I will transfer £10 in your account, man. Send me the sort code and the account number, and you know what I mean? You are going to be £10 richer. In the context of this, what is the astonishment of heart?
It means confused. Your mind's confused.
Remember now, we're blind, we're mad, and we got astonishment of heart.
Astonishment of heart.
All right, then. Let's look up in a dictionary what astonishment means.
Shalakia could be disbelief or disbelief or I would say
Nobody don't believe them.
yeah, I would.
Well, for that being said, yeah, disbelief is astonishment. I mean, you're like, I can't believe it. You're astonished. You're like, I can't believe that happened. So in this context, then what does it mean? So we're smitten with madness, blindness, and we got astonishment of heart.
You're confused every way. You know, blind. You're blind, you can't see. You're mad. When you're mad, you got no sense. And when you're astonishment of heart, you know what I mean? You're shocked. You're astonishment, confused, perplexed every way.
That's right. We're perplexed. Why are we? Because of these religions, man.
Right.
As we're blind, we're in the mosque, in the church, and then what happens? You get astonished with heart. We suffer from disbelief. We suffer from disbelief so bad, we would rather ignore what we see, man. That's what makes us blind. You're in the church and you know, like, hang on, like, why is there a white Jesus, white angels? Why is it my pastor don't read the Bible? And deep down, you are astonished. You have disbelief that I believe I'm in the wrong place. You know it. Many black people in the two biggest religions, you know it's not the answer, but you would choose to ignore it so that you don't get hurt. You don't get hurt knowing that my pastor ain't no man of God. He don't know the Bible. I'm following a slave religion, man. I'm singing slave songs. You know what I mean? And instead, you would just rather ignore it. And that's the problem that we have. We are astonished in heart when you know that the religion you're in ain't the answer. it can't help you. And that's what God says. We'll be mad, we will be blind, and you'll have an astonishment of heart, meaning your heart's your mind, of course. And in your mind, you're like, I can't believe this, man. I've been following this lie for so many years. And what do? It's like, yeah, what do? We just willfully stay blind. And that's what God said would happen to the real Israelites. Read on.
And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
And because we're blind and got astonishment of heart, what's gonna happen? We are going to grope. Now, to grope means like you got your hands out, you might feel this. You know what I mean? So now, someone only does that when it's dark. The Bible's saying we're going to be doing this at noonday, meaning when the light's out, when the light is up, we're feeling around, and that's us. We're feeling around in the mosque, in the church, in Egyptology, Pan-Africanism, and God's saying that's us, man. And why? Because we wouldn't serve Him. We wouldn't keep His commandments as it is this day.
Right.
And that's what you see, man. We're in these religions that hate black people. The song Amazing Grace is a song for a white man who still enslave you. And this happens, why? Because we're blind and we grope. We're in the church groping, not knowing that mainstream Christianity ain't for black people, man. Mainstream Christianity is specifically for one race of people, and that's white people, man. Read on.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
And there you have it. Because we ain't serving the Lord, we won't prosper in our ways. Because we're in slave religions, because we are in religions that hate black people, we won't prosper in our ways, and we can't. It wouldn't make sense. How are you going to follow a religion that has enslaved your people and believe you are going to prosper in your ways, man? How are you going to follow your enemy's religion and believe that, I'm going to get saved? I'm going to find all of my answers. No, you're not. Is there any more on that?
Gone.
Yeah, read on.
And thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled evermore.
And there you go. When we grope and follow the religions of our enemies, we're only going to be oppressed evermore. Do you want to know why black people are oppressed? Because we follow Islam. Do you want to know why black people are oppressed? Because we follow Christianity, man. These religions will only oppress you and rob you forevermore. When you see black kids being harassed, that's because of the church, man. That's because of the mosque. And that's why we serve their God, and the people of those gods oppress you and spoil you forevermore. And that's it right there. You got another article online. All right, so we're going to get into another piece of information again. Let's grab that. So now this one is a more up-to-date one. The song Amazing Grace, that was in the 1700s. So, now we're getting into, 2018 / 2019. And for those online, you may think, I'm just being racist when I say Christianity is a religion of white people. When white people, they know this too. And what we're going to read, it's going to say, it's going to show that even in these modern times, white people deep down, they know it too. Read that for me.
Donald Trump has made it clear the only real Americans are white Christians.
So that's like they are white and
Christians.
So now that means even he knows that, okay, he's talking about America here, but why did he say white and Christian? Showing you that Christianity is a white man's religion, man. Let's prove it. In America, the white people that went there, what religion were they? That's right. That was their religion. White Christians came to America, and as they, done done evil unto the native Indians, what did they do? They taught them their Christian concepts, man. And what race were they? All white people, man. Religion comes with a race. And that's something that black people don't seem to understand. Religion and race, they are synonymous. You know what I mean? If you're in the Christian church, that religion came with a race and it's for white people. If you're in the mosque, that Arabic religion came with Arabs, man. It came with a race of people. Reader.
In a recent tirade from his bully pulpit on Twitter, Trump revealed who he thinks belongs in the United States and who doesn't. On Sunday morning, while journalists and talk show pundits were busy discussing visits to 2 migrant detention centers by Vice President Mike Spears.
So now, you know what I mean? If you don't watch the news, with the so-called Mexicans, they, you know what I mean, they detain them. So if they're in America illegally, so-called, they detain them and they treat them very badly, man. They put young boys in a cage like an animal. And whenever someone speaks against it, he shrugs it off. You mean showing you how racist he is, man? And now with this same man here, what religion is he? He's a Christian also as well, man. Meanwhile, so-called Mexicans, he looks down on them. But if he believes, no, God loves everyone, surely his actions would say something else.
Right.
But it shows it because that's what Christianity is about. It's about the upliftment of white people and bringing down everybody else, man. Read on.
God. On Sunday, Musakia, and Senator Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump sought to change the subject by upping the ante. As conversations swirled around the deplorable condition that immigrant men, women, and children are facing, Trump refocused the attention on himself by suggesting that U.S. Congresswomen of color were the ones who should voluntarily deport themselves back to the countries they came from.
And imagine that these are so-called black Americans right here. And he looks at them like, shut up, man. You like need to go back to where you originate from. Of course, you know, he believes it's Africa. But have in mind, he's a Christian, and look how he thinks. He knows that Christianity is for white people, man. You know what I mean? When talking about the Mexicans, he just brings the attention back on himself. Like, yeah, me. And then because black people are talking about it, he's like, listen, you black monkeys, you need to go back where you originate from too, man. And he does Sunday church. You know what I mean? And then it gets more specific. Read on.
On Twitter, his very own digital bully pulpit, the president wrote, so interesting to see progressive Democrat congresswomen who originally came from countries whose government are a complete and total catastrophe, now loudly and viciously telling the people of the United States, the greatest and most powerful nation on the earth.
All right, so now let's read in between the lines right here. When he says this black woman is saying to the Americans, what does he really mean by that?
Basically, you got some nerve. You got come from nowhere. You got nerve how you speak so boldly in my Bible.
But he means white people. When it's talking about America, it means like you got some nerve. You come from Africa, but that's what he thinks. Where them countries are a catastrophe. You're talking to us white Americans. How dare you, man? This is racial. But yeah, he follows the biggest religion on the face of the earth, Christianity, and he's racist, man. And he's open about it, showing you that black man in the church, you are in a racist religion. You are in a religion that is suppressing your race of people, man. And this is how white Christians feel, man. We went into the song Amazing Grace. And look, white Christians in 2019, this is how they really feel about every other race. This is how they really feel about the Israelites. Read on.
God, the greatest and most powerful nation on the earth, how our government it should be run. He backed up his private saying, why don't they go back and fix the totally broken and crime-infested place from which they came? But just one problem, three of 4 women he has obviously targeted. Representative Alexander Ocasio-Cortez.
So now that's a Spanish name right there. So this woman, you mean she'll be a so-called Hispanic. So with this slander that he's throwing out, it's attacking other races. He's not saying this to other white people. He's saying this to other races, man. And yet,
Right.
what religion is he? Christian. He believes in Sunday worship. He says God loves everyone, but does he really believe that? No, he doesn't. Read on.
Ayanna Presley, Rashida Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar were born in the United States, and Omar, whose family escaped Somalia and came to the United States when she was a child, has been a US citizen her entire adult life.
So now the rest of it goes into they are American also as well. But white people don't see black people as American, man, showing that they're racist and they came to America with what religion? Christianity. And that shows you that if you think Amazing Grace and that racist song was just back then, the Christians of today, they think the same thing, man. They look at you and go, you know what? Listen, man, you ain't nothing. And they follow that religion. So it shows you that those religions ain't for us, man.
Right.
Christianity is for white people. It's a white concept. It's white domination, man. And that's something that we need to learn. Give me Jeremiah 6 and 16. Let's grab that. Jeremiah 6 and 16.
Jeremiah 6 and 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see.
All right. So now it says, thus saith the Lord, stand in the way and see, man. As a black man, you know what I mean? If you were just to stand in the way and see, you would know that none of these religions ain't for black people, man. You would look at the church and go, that's not for black people. Look at the foundation of it, man. It's built on slavery. It was built on raping me,
Right.
killing me,
Right.
working me.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean? Stand in the way. It's like it. Bear with me. Then now, you would stand in the way and see, and you would also look in the mosque and go, nah, man, the mosque ain't for me. Arabs don't like black people. You know what I mean? Arabs enslaved me too, man. Arabs raped black women galore, man. That was their number one thing. While as the European, he took the male and the female so that, you know what I mean, they can have more kids so that they can work. Arabs love females to rape them, man. They had thousands of sex slaves. So as a black man, you would stand the way and see and go, well, I'm not following Islam neither. And that's why God said, thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the way and see, meaning just look around. If you want to find me, just look around. It's not hard. And that's one thing in the UPK. We don't make it difficult, man. You want to serve God, you come in here and keep those commandments, man.
Right.
Look at us, look at how we live, look at what we do, and just stand in the way and see. If you want to find God, just look. But that's the problem. You know what I mean? Because of religion, they have in your mind to find God, it needs to be difficult. It needs to be, you know, something miraculous. I know what you really need to do is just stand in the way and see. Read on.
And ask for the old paths.
And do what?
And ask for the old paths.
And that's what you got to do, man. Ask for the old path. I mean, if you want to find God, once you look around, once you stand and see, then you should ask for the old path. Meaning, all what you're going to see, you're going to know it's not God. you're going to know it's not the Lord. You're going to know that's not the way. And then ask for the old path. And what's the old path? The path of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. That's
right.
the old path. The laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the old path.
Right.
You know when you're an Israelite and the white man's the devil. That's the old path, man.
Right.
You knowing that you are sinning anytime you step foot in the mosque. That's the old path, man.
Right.
And God's saying, just follow that, man. Salakia, 1 second. There's another scripture about saying the house of the Lord is these. The temple of the Lord are these. Let's grab that one. Let me find it 1 second.
7:4.
That's right. If anyone can get me Aramaiah 7 and 4.
Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 4. Trust ye not in lying words.
So now that's another thing, man. You know, black people, we're entangled in the two biggest religions. And why are we in it? Because we trust in lying words, man. You believe those words, what your pastor says, what your deacon says. You know what I mean? That God's here, man. You know what I mean? You come here, you're gonna find your answers, you're gonna find peace, you're gonna find rest. And no, you won't, man. Why? Because the Bible says, trust not in lying words. Your pastor has lying words, man.
Right.
Your imam, your sheikh, your dean, whatever that is, he has lying words, man.
That's right.
He tells you the Bible's tampered with. You got to read the Quran, man. You know what I mean? Look, Christians had slaves. And he never tells you that they did, though. You know what I mean? It's always everything that benefits him. And when you're in the mosque, you trust in lying words, man. Read on.
Saying, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord are these.
And that's the lying words, man. This is the house of God. This is the temple of the Lord. My 7-day Adventist church. This is the house of the Lord here, man. My Catholic church. This is the house of the Lord, man. My 7-day Adventist church. This is under Sheikh Abdullahi, blah, blah, blah. This is the temple of the Lord, man. And it's not. Those are lying words, man. Anytime someone comes to you, black man, and goes, this is where you're going to find God, they are liars, man. Right. And they are teaching lying words. God ain't in those temples, man. God ain't in your church. God ain't in your mosque. God ain't in your Pan-African spirituality meeting crap. God ain't in there, man. And that's what they say to you. The temple of the Lord are these, man. You come here, man. You know what I mean? And then with some of them, they're wicked too. They like to act like, my pastor, he told me that I will meet you, man. You mean, my pastor wants to see you on Sunday, man. You need to be here. And those are lying words, man. And we get entrapped in that. Read that one more time.
Trust ye not in lying words, saying, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord are these.
And that's what all them say. The temple of the Lord are these, man. You need to come to my church. Let me give you this flyer. My pastor is a wonderful man. Yo, you know what? You need to meet him. And he's a liar, man. All of it is lying words. You got something?
One thing 3 times.
Because that's how black people talk, man. The temple of the Lord. The temple of the Lord, man. The temple of the Lord are these. Why? Because one man saying it, 2 men saying it, 3 men saying it. And the Lord warned us, man, that those are lying words. And you're telling me this Bible ain't talking about black people. Yes, it is. This Bible is, man. Why? Because what race of people have to avoid lying words? What race of people always get told what people always get told? Well, with the temple of God is here. You want to find God, you need to come here. You want to find God, you need to be here. And that's black people, man. Read on.
4. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 5. For if ye thoroughly aimed your ways and your doings, if you thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor.
So now the Lord's saying that we can avoid this if we follow his laws, if we amend our ways. To amend is to make it right. It's, you know what I mean? If something is smashed on the floor, you amend it, you fix it. And if we fix it, we won't be in these lying words. You know what I mean? Saying, well, the temple of God's here, the temple of God is over there. If we serve the Lord, we will amend our ways. So if we amend our ways, we won't be trapped in these religions anymore. Read on.
6. If ye oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after gods to your hurt.
And imagine that Lord saying, don't shed blood in this place. Meaning the same way we was taking each other's lives back then, we're doing it now, man. That's how you know this Bible is a living book. We keep doing the same things over and over. And you know what I mean? If we amend our ways, it will solve all of this. Not no religion, not your church, not your mosque, not your Pan-African meetings. You know what I mean? Read on.
Then will I cause you to dwell in this place.
And then the Bible says, he will cause us to dwell in this place. He will make us return and we will be his again, man. From there, give me Isaiah, the 42nd chapter and the 22nd verse.
Isaiah what?
Isaiah 42 and the 22nd verse.
22nd verse.
Khan.
But this is my people, robbed and spoiled.
And that's us, man. We are robbed of who we are. We are the Israelites, and just spoiled by every nation. Why? Because they have you in their religion, and while you're in their religion, they rob you, man. All your accolades that you have as being the sons of God, they rob you of it for their cause, man. Mike Tyson, what religion was he in? Islam. And while he made millions, what did he do? Help Arabs, man. Donate money to Arabs. Muhammad Ali, a boxer, made millions. What religion was he? Islam. And he helped the Islamic cause. And that's us, man. We are robbed and spoiled. When you follow their religion, you help their cause, man. And that's something that we don't understand. This is the people. What people? The children of Israel. That's the people. And we're robbed of what our identity, our culture, our laws. And then we are spoiled. Why? Because while we follow their religions, we're helping them. All of our great accolades, all of our great physicalities, all of our great attributes, it goes to help them. Read on.
They are all of them snares in holes.
And that's us, man. We are snared in holes, meaning we're snared in these religions. We are trapped in these religions, man. We're trapped in the church, believing God loves everyone. We're trapped in the mosque, believing the Bible's tampered with and that Islam is the original black man's religion, man. Read on.
And they are all hid in prison houses.
And that's us. We are a nation of people locked up, always locked up. And isn't it weird? As a nation of people, as much of us are locked up, what religions do they follow, man?
Christianity and Islam.
That's right. In the prison houses, what are the two religions we follow? Christianity and Islam, man. All the time. You mean they're locked up for any crime? I follow Islam. I follow Christianity. And that's the problem. Read on.
They are for prey.
And that's another thing. Sakia, we are for a prey. A lot of you don't know that in these religions, they prey upon black people. You know, like even in history, when slavery was happening, both the Christians and the Muslims both wanted black people, man. They prey upon you. They say, nah, man, I want them all. I want them all. And that's what they were fighting over in West Africa. They're fighting over you.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're the prey. You're like, nah, I want them, man. Them slaves that don't die and can work to death. I want them. And then the Arabs are like, listen, you ain't taking my slaves. And that's what the fight was always about. It was about the Israelites. Read on.
And none delivereth.
And none delivereth. In the church, they don't care about you. They want you to serve their God, shut up, be a good slave, and none delivereth. Then in the mosque, they don't care about you, man. They want you just to join Islam, be a good slave, help them, fight for them, sell drugs for them. Anyone this is the Islamic religion, you beat them up. And that's all while it is, man. Everyone wants you to be a good slave, but to deliver you, but to set you free, they won't do it, man.
Right.
Read on.
And for a spoil, and none say restored.
And none saith restore, man. None saith, you know what? We need to fix those people, man. Really, they shouldn't be serving our God. These are the Israelites. These are the greatest people on earth, man. Let's restore them. You know what I mean? They've been in our churches making us millions. Let's give some of that money back. Let's, help them out, man. Some of that money that they've given to us for 400 years, let's give it back to them. Let them have their own communities. Let us tell them who they really are. Then in the mosque, you know what I mean? They've made us rich, man. We've sold them as slaves in Mecca. They've been buying that man dress and that ridiculous hat. Let's give them back some of that money. And none of them say restore. None of them are in the business of fixing you. Read on.
Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
And that's how you know this is talking about the last days. How do you know this? Because it goes, who will give a ear unto this? Who will hear for the time to come? Meaning what Isaiah was talking about, it wasn't for his time. It's talking about now. And that's something that your pastor don't know, that the Bible's telling you the real Jews, they'll be lost in holes, people preying upon them, and no one cares about them. And that's black people, man. That's Hispanics. That's Native Indians. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get into a book. This book I recommend, you know what I mean? It's called A Short History of Slavery, written by James Walvin. It goes into black slavery predominantly. So we went into Amazing Grace, Christianity is for white people. Now let's get into Islam, how Islam is for Arabs and what they thought about black people, man. So this is section 3 called Slavery and Islam. So you know what I mean? Let's get some of that. And
long before the establishment of African slavery in the Americas.
So it says, long before African slavery. Now, of course, you know what I mean? With this author, he's not in the truth. So to his understanding, all black people are African. So, when you read your books and you see African slavery and things like that, you know what I mean? A lot of people go, you see, they say that we were African. They're not in the truth. They don't know that Jews settled in West Africa. So don't expect to find that from them, man. So long before, you know what I mean, they took Africans to the Americas. Read on.
Islamic societies were characterized by the widespread and generally unchallenged use of slavery.
So imagine that Islamic communities. So, you had Arabs that went to North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Morocco, Marintia. And in these Islamic communities, when it came to slavery, it was the norm. When it came to selling black people, it was the norm. No one wasn't like, rah, like, look what we're doing. We're doing something wrong, man. It was normal to have black slaves. Read on.
Indeed, slavery was commonplace throughout Arabia well before the rise of Islam. But as Islam spread to the 8th and 15th centuries, and especially into Black Africa, it extended and confirmed the commonplace use of slavery and slave trading.
So now that's how it began. So the more the Arabs got into Africa, the more they were like, nah, like, we can get all these slaves. We can capture this people here, catch this here. So as soon as they got more into Africa, it just made sense to them that, yo, like, we can sell these people and make money. Read on.
At the apogee of Islam influences, at the apogee of Islamic influence, slaves were imported into Islamic societies from Africa.
So now with slaves, they were sent to Islamic societies. So I mean, they were taken back to Arabia, Baghdad, Afghanistan, and any society where these Arabs were. Read on.
From its earliest days, Islam was associated with slavery.
So from its earliest days, Islam was associated with slavery. So what business has a black man in the mosque, man? What business do you as a black man have been in any mosque? When this religion that you follow, it's normal to have a man slave, a woman slave, a sex slave. It was normal in their society. It was just the commonplace that you as a black person, it was normal. Just like in your house, some of you may have a cat, may have a dog, and you know, the dog fetches your shoes, gets the paper, gets the mail. That's how you was in an Islamic society, man. Read on.
The Prophet Muhammad had owned slaves.
He had what?
Had owned slaves.
And imagine that. Muhammad himself, he owned slaves. Muhammad, he had slaves. And then a black man goes, nah, man, the Quran don't deal with slavery. When Muhammad, the person you look up to, he had slaves, man. So what are you talking about? What are we doing? You know what I mean? You're reading the Quran, and the main man of the Quran, he had slaves. The guy who brings Islam to light, he had slaves.
Right.
Read on.
His teachings in the form of the Quran contain frequent references to slaves and slavery.
And imagine that, as a black man, how do you do it, man? That's why when the Bible says we walk in blindness and madness, you see it, man, in the mosque.
Right.
How do you know you see it? When a black man picks up a Quran and it's talking about slaves and usage of slaves, like, how does that make you feel? I'm reading a book where you're that black collar and that abid right there, and you're black, you got dark skin, and that's talking about you. You know what I mean? You're reading through, yeah, this is the word of God, and you read that and believe that's the word of God. You as a black man, you're trying to find yourself, and that same book is talking derogatory of you. That's how you know we grope at noonday as the blind grope in darkness. That's how you know we're smitten with madness and blindness when you can do something like that, man. Read on.
God, specifying how masters should treat their slaves and how they might enable slaves to free themselves. The anti-Islamic writers, holy men, and legal commentators frequently discussed the problem posed by slavery. Slavery accompanied the spread of Islam across the Mediterranean, North Africa, and in the sub-Saharan Africa.
So now, under this religion, that's how the slavery in Africa happened. Now, you know, I don't like to put people on the spot, but one time, where was it? Yeah, it was in Northwest London. I went to a Nation of Islam event, and you know, like, the guy, he didn't really want to debate. I believe it was E.O. Muhammad. He didn't want to debate, and you know, at that time, the UPK, we didn't go there to debate too. But what he was trying to say is, yeah, it was Arabs that sold black slaves, but they didn't follow Islam. And again, you gotta purposely blind yourself to say something like that, because in history, the slaves were sold in what? Islamic communities, meaning Islam was the religion practiced in those communities. So you gotta be hitting with blindness and madness to even say something like that, man. But read on. The next page. Then I'm gonna get back in the Bible. Don't spoil it. I'm not gonna read all of that.
Though the enslavement of fellow Muslims were disapproved of, in time this could be overlooked.
All right. No sweat. So now, why am I reading this part? Because this lets you know that Islam is about race. So at one point, they wouldn't enslave someone that followed the same religion as them, meaning African. So you know what I mean, be like a Hamite who they converted into their religion. It was wrong to like sour on them, to like, nah, he follows Islam. Do not enslave this person. So at one point, that was the concept. But read on.
In time, this came to be overlooked or ignored.
So this came to be overlooked or ignored, meaning at one point it was, you follow the same religion as me, but then afterwards that got overlooked and ignored. Meaning if you was black, you was a slave, man. Regardless of if you followed Islam, they couldn't care less. That got ignored afterwards. Read on.
By Muslim slave traders,
the
sheer growth of slave trading on so massive a scale across the vast geographic expanses of the Islamic world, and the ubiquity of slavery sometimes overrode theological or moral objections.
So imagine that, meaning they were enslaved so bad, they went against their religion, man. Their religion says if someone follows Islam like you, don't do it. But because you're black and slavery was such a big demand, they were like, forget them. And then guess what? Arabs even enslaved those Africans that followed Islam. So showing you what that Islam is about race. These big religions are racist. Christianity is for white people. Islam is for Arabs, man. You know what I mean? They tried it. It was, well, he follows Islam. He's a Muslim. Don't enslave him. But when slavery got in a high demand, they're like, forget that. You listen, I want him enslaved. Capture them. They follow Islam. I couldn't care less. Show you that religion is racist.
Right.
Religion and race are synonymous, man. You know what I mean? You can follow any religion, and if you're not of that race, they don't give a damn about you, man. Read on.
In time, it came to be assumed that Africans were natural slaves.
And in time, these Arabs that follow Islam, they just assume black Africans are natural slaves. Over time, how much they sold you and sold you and sold you, that as the next generation came along, they're like, these people are meant to be slaves. That's why do you think Arabs look down on you now? Why do you think Indians look down on you now? Pakistanis look down on you. Bangladeshis look down on you. Because over time, they look at you and think, you're nothing more than a slave.
Right.
Read on.
Done. Unlike the later Atlantic slave trade, Islamic slavery was primarily female.
Now keep this in mind. With the white man, his slavery was primarily men, but for the Arabs, their one was primarily for email. Read on.
Primarily female. A clear enough sign that Islamic slaves were destined for different kinds of labor. Mainly for domestic and sexual service.
And for what?
Sexual service.
And that's what Arabs did, man. The females, they were for sex, man. You know what I mean? So any service of sex, that's what the Arabs like, man. While as the white man, he wanted the men to pick the cotton, pick the cane, and the woman came along. So obviously, you know that he can have a son that can pick some more cotton and Cain, they like the women, man, as sex slaves. Read on.
For sexual services, female slaves toiled in a range of domestic work and other tasks across the Islamic world, from Cordoba to Baghdad. Men too were enslaved.
Also, now have in mind now those places. They're in the Arabian Peninsula, Baghdad, etc. Read on.
Men too were enslaved, large numbers being employed as eunuchs in harems and as literate slaves in administrative and educational roles.
No sweat. There's some more in that, but I'll get into the point. Suck it. I'm at the book. Just how black slaves thought when being under the oppression of the Arabs, man. You know what I mean? Not gonna make it long-winded. We're gonna get back into the Bible, man. All right. Yeah, from the bottom of the 31st page, just on there. And the next page was like stuff.
Scholars of Islamic history have discovered a wealth of literature.
All right, so now, if you don't believe me, believe the literature. Meaning, scholars, they got tons of literature. Meaning, tons of things that people wrote. You know what I mean? Now, the literature is gonna go into the black people that was enslaved under the Arabs. Read on.
About the complex history of slavery in Islamic societies, as in the world of classical antiquity, slaves were a basic and largely unquestioned feature of Islamic life.
So imagine that, of Islamic life. So it didn't just say Arab life, Islamic life. And what's Islam? A religion. So meaning in Islamic life, for the Arabs that follow Islam, it was a slave was just a normal feature. Like you see in your house how you got your flat screen. That's just a normal feature. Like in this day and age, that's just life. You know what I mean? Like no one looks at your flat screen and goes, "Why have you got that? Why do you watch that?" It's just a normal thing that you have. And a slave in the Islamic life was just normal. You got a man slave fighting for you, a female black slave who you raped. That was just a normal way of life. Read on.
Slaves were a basic and largely unquestioned feature of Islamic life.
So it was also on question, meaning no one sits and goes, "That's bad, you know. You got someone as a slave. Why? Like, you know what I mean? Let them go. What are you doing?" And that's why if you're a black man in the mosque, shame on you, man. How do you do it, man? And if you're a black man in the church, shame on you too, man.
Right.
I'm not, you know what I mean, trying to act like one's better than the other. But look, a slave was even on question. Read on.
Islam had a vast geography stretching at its height from Spain to Baghdad and on into Asia and deep into East and West Africa. We have evidence about slavery and Islam across the millennium. Of course, the earlier evidence is sparse and fragmentary, but revealing to all that as the use of enslaved Africans grew, infusing Islam with a profound sense of racial prejudice.
Oh, so hang on now. That within the Arabs, they had what?
Racial prejudice.
And there you go, man. People that say it's the religion, not the race. But here's what you don't understand: race and religion come in the same box, man. The package is the same, man. You think nah, it's the religion, but not the race. Christianity comes with a race, and that's white people, man. Islam comes with a race, and it's for Arabs.
Right.
And even here, those Arabs had a racial prejudice. Read on.
From as early as the 7th and 18th centuries, contemporary poetry addressed the joint misuse of blackness and slavery.
So now, even in Arab literature, Arab writing, it talks about blackness and slavery. So meaning, any Arab writer, they write about it and they wouldn't think it odd or nah, that's bad, you know. They just thought, well, yeah, black people slaves, even in their writing. Read on.
God. The first three extracts are by the African-born poet Shuhem, who died in 660.
So now this African, he was a slave right here. If it's an Israelite, if he's not, I don't know. But he's in what he writes, he's gonna say something valuable, man. That should make a black man leave Islam right now, man. That should make that black man burn that man dressed in that ridiculous hat he wears, man, right now, man. Make a black man throw that Quran in the bin right now, man. Read on.
If my color were pink, women would love me.
So now he was oppressed under the Arabs so bad. He said, if my Allah was pink, the women would of me. Read on.
But the Lord have marred me with blackness.
And imagine that the Lord has marred me with blackness. Being enslaved under the Arabs, that's how they made him feel, man. And then what? I must join the mosque. I must go in a mosque every day. You must be, you mean you must be mad, man. I'm not joining. I'm not going to no mosque. Look what the Arabs made this man feel like, man. He thinks being black is marred. Like if I was pink, everyone would love me. But the Lord marred me with this blackness, and that's how he thought while he was enslaved under Arabs, man. While they called him color, while they called him shitty, while they called him abid. You know what I mean? He feels like, you know, I'm cursed with being black, man. And I must join the mosque. Never. Read on.
Though I am black of color, my character is white. I am covered with a black garment, but under it there is a lustrous garment with white skirts.
There, so he's saying, I'm black now, but under me, there's a white person, really. And that's how Arabs made black people feel, man. Just like the white man taught you being black is ugly. Arabs done the same thing, man. Arabs fed that into black people's mind too, man. That being black was a defect. Being black, something was wrong with it, man. That's what Arabs did. Read on.
The following verse is by the black poet Isupk, who died in 726. Blackness does not diminish me as long as I have this tongue and this stout heart.
So if anyone's reading this, if anyone's hearing this, what is he trying to say? Shamgar, from what we just read in the book about blackness doesn't diminish me. I have a tongue, I have this. What is he trying to say?
So okay, the one. Yeah, what he's trying to say is basically that he, in the same way, he's kind of ashamed of being black. It sounds like.
That's right. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, he said it. Okay, that's it. Yeah, so what he's saying is, you know what I mean? I'm ashamed of being black, but I got a tongue. I got what they have. I got a tongue, eyes, ears, but I'm black though, man. Like, oh gosh. But I've got everything else. So being black, it don't diminish me. It don't take away from me. When being black should never diminish you, man. Being black ain't no defect. Being black is no reason for you to feel diminished. And that's how Arabs made black people feel, man. They don't talk about, yeah, like, they taught you being black was ugly. They taught you this. You did too, man.
Right.
You done it too, man.
Some are raised up by means of their lineage. The verse of my poem are my lineage. How much better, keen-minded, clear-spoken, black than a mute white. Though my hair is woolly and my skin coal black, my hand is open and my honor bright.
So it's saying that even though I'm black, you know, something good will come at the end of my life. And that's how Arabs made black people feel, man. And no sheikh, no imam never talks about this though. as a black man in the mosque, you know, you think he's all knowledgeable, all knowing, and this part just skips his mind though. This part, it never tells you that, you know, they made black people feel like being black was a defect. Being black, something was wrong with you, man. And it's written in Arab literature. The black slave that they had, they wrote this down while being under Arabs. That's how they made them feel. So Islam is racist.
Right.
Islam is about a race of people, and that's the Arabs, man. Nothing to do with you. From there, give me Psalms 3 and 8. Black man's got no business in no religion, man. No church, no mosque, nowhere, man. These religions hate you. It's like Psalms 3 and 8.
Psalms 3 and 8. Got it. What is it? Psalms 3 and what?
Psalms 3 and 8.
Psalms 3 and 8. Psalms 3 and 8. Salvation belong unto the Lord. The blessing is upon the people.
And that's something that we need to understand, man, that with the blessings of the Lord, it's on us, man. It's not in no church with white people. It's not under Islam with no Arabs. The blessing of salvation is upon you, black man.
Right.
It's on your people, man. God's sending Christ to come and save you. So why are we in the church? Why are we in the mosque when the blessings are upon us? We're in the church like the blessings with the white man. We're in the mosque like the blessings with the Arabs, and it's not with them, man.
Right.
The blessing of salvation is upon thy people. Who is the people that is talking about? The Israelites. You black man, you Hispanic man, you native Indian man. Those blessings are upon you. It's not with them. You know what I mean? They act like, you know, God's with them, and God's not with them, man. Christianity is a man-made religion. Islam is a man-made religion, man, made by Muhammad. That's all it is. And the blessing of salvation ain't with them. Read that one more time.
Salvation belong unto the Lord. Thy blessing is upon thy people.
And their salvation belongeth to the Lord, meaning it's up to the Lord who he wants to save. But then the blessing is upon thy people, meaning that the Lord, he can save who he wants, but he's blessed us with that, man. He's blessed us that he would save us. And imagine that. While you're in the church, they would never let you know that. While you're in the mosque, they would never let you know that the Lord only chooses to save one race of people. The Lord only wants to save one race of people, and that's you, black man. That's you, black man, in London, in Manchester, in Liverpool, in the Midlands, Birmingham, Nottingham, Leicester, Leeds, Cardiff, Newport, man. It's you, black man, in Amsterdam, Rotterdam. You know what I mean? Wherever you are, man. That blessing to get saved, God chose to let you have it, man. It belongeth to him, and he wants you to get saved, not everybody. From there, give me Deuteronomy 26 and 18.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 26 and verse 18. Cursed be that maketh the blind to wander out of the way.
And now listen to what the Bible says, man. It's a curse when you make the blind wander out of the way, man. So can anyone break that down for me? What does that mean? Cursed is he that make the blind to wander out of the way.
well, curse on the Christian religion who lied to the Israelites.
That's right. You know what I mean? So it's a curse, man. Those people, they're gonna get something. They're going to get a punishment from the Lord, man. You made the blind wander out the way, man. We are blind, and you made us wander out the way, man, by giving us Christianity. You made us wander out of the way by giving us Islam, talking about that's the way of God, man. And they're cursed, man. God's gonna punish those heathens, man. God's gonna punish the Europeans. God's gonna punish the Arabs, man, for making us wander out of the way. Read that one more time.
Cursed be he that maketh the blind to wander out of the way.
Yeah, read that.
And all the people shall say, Amen.
And all the people said, Amen. Now, of course, in the original context of this, it's talking about one of us, meaning another Israelite makes another one straight out of the way. Of course, in a manifold level, you mean these religions have made us to go out of the way. 1 second. I know, sweat. Give me Deuteronomy 26 and 16.
Shit. Salakia.
No sweat.
26 and 16. This day the Lord thy God hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
So now the Lord warned us, man. He gave us all these laws, statutes, and commandments and said, we got to do it with all of our heart and our soul, man. Meaning all of your mind and your will. The heart meaning your mind, and your soul meaning your will, meaning every desire that you have, man. Do it with everything. Read on.
17. Thou hast vouched the Lord this day to be thy God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgments, and to hearken unto his voice.
So we agreed, we like, yes, all that you said we will do, which you'll find in the book of Exodus, where it says, all that is written in this law, we will do. And that's what we said. Read on.
And the Lord hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people, Shalakia. And he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all nations which he hath made.
Which he have what?
Which he hath made.
And there, so that's key because, all right, why is this verse a relevant verse? Like, what makes this verse so wonderful? Because there's something people say and it doesn't mean anything.
So like people like at camp, they will say, oh, but God created everybody. How could he hate or hate one and not love the other? But
let's give him a hand. That's it. Now, verse 19 is very key. So God says, I'm going to put the Israelites on high above every nation which I have made. Because what does everyone say? God don't love one people. Like, God don't love only one people. God made everyone. We're all in the image of God. We all have 10 fingers and 10 toes and we all bleed red. But that's not what the Bible says, man. That's what you say. That's your opinion. But did God say that? No, he didn't. God says, I'm going to make you high above all people which I have made. So yes, God made everyone. And that don't mean nothing. That doesn't hold no substance at all, man. God made everyone, yes. And God made me above you, man. God made Officer Shamgar above you, man. God made Officer Agawa above you, man. God made Amsterdam above you, man. Regardless of if God made us all, he made us all, and then he made me to be above all you heathens, man. And that's something that they can't understand. They believe that God made everyone, so everyone's equal, and it doesn't mean that. Read verse 19 again.
And to make thee high above all nations which he hath made, in praise, and in name, and in honor, and that thou mayst be an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
And there, so when people say God made everyone, that don't mean nothing. Because God's saying it, listen, like, I'm gonna make you high above all people that I have made, man. All people that I've made, the Arabs, the Europeans, Indians, Bangladeshis, Turks, Romanians, the Polish, Ukrainian, whatever. God's saying, yeah, I made them, and I'm gonna make you higher than all of them in your honor, in your name, meaning everything that makes someone great, you're gonna be better than them in everything. And that's the Bible right there, man. So why do black Christians even say that, man? Whenever we do camp, what does it always say? We are all made in the image of God. God made man in his image. And what does that mean? So we all bleed red. We all got 10 toes and 10 fingers. What does that mean? When the Bible's saying God made Israelites higher than all people that he made, that doesn't mean nothing, man. Here's the problem. You're holding on to slave religion, and your slave master, he taught you God loves everyone. Your slave master taught you we're all the same. Meanwhile, your granddads were on the cotton fields, man. So what does it really mean? It doesn't mean nothing. All of that is a lie. All of that is a fable. All that is to make slaves, good slaves. And that's all what that means, man. From there, give me Deuteronomy. No. Give me Matthew 11 and 28.
and 28.
Can't.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavily burdened.
And now, who is this on about right here? You, black man. You need to come unto Christ, man. You are heavily laden, burdened with false religion, burdened with lies, burdened with the world, man, and the struggles of a black man every day. And your king said, come unto me, man. Not come unto the church, come unto the mosque. Come unto me, man. Come unto your king. Come unto the person that died for you, man. Read on.
And I will give you rest.
And then he will do what?
And I will give you rest.
And I will give you rest. Meaning, anywhere else, you ain't gonna find no rest, man.
Right.
You ain't gonna find no rest in the church. You ain't gonna find no rest in the mosque. Because with Christ, he said, come unto me. And Christ ain't in no mosque, man.
Right.
No matter how much they talk about Isa, you know what I mean? He's not with them. No matter how much the church talks about Jesus, Christ ain't in there, man. And Christ said, come unto me, and you shall find rest. Read on.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
And do what?
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
And that's it, man. If you want to find rest, you got to learn of Christ. It said, learn of me. It didn't say, find me in the church, find me in the mosque. What does it mean by learn of me? Meaning, if you're a black man and you're heavily laden, learn of me, man. Learn about me. If you want to find rest for your soul, learn about me. Walk as I walked. Do what I did, and you will find rest for your soul, man. Read on.
For I am meek and lowly in heart.
And what does that mean? I am lowly in heart, meaning I'm just like you. I'm not saying, you know what I mean, I'm Christ, I'm King of the Jews. And you know what I mean, he's kind of like showing off with it. He's lowly in heart, meaning, listen, black man, I'm just like you, man. I'm in Jerusalem with the white man's foot on my neck, man. Just like how you're in England with the white man's foot on your neck, man. Just like how you're in Amsterdam with the white man's foot on your neck. Just like how you're in America with the white man's foot on your neck. Christ saying, I'm lowly of heart. I'm just like you. I'm suffering just like you, man. But if you want to find rest, come to me and learn of me, man.
Right.
Read on.
And you shall find rest unto your soul.
And you're going to find rest. You learn of me, and I'm lowly in heart. Know that I'm just like you. And that's something that is so great in the I.S.U.P.K. And you don't learn this nowhere else, man. You know, sweat. Bear me 1 second. And you're going to find out that Christ, your king, he was just like you, man. He liked to drink. He was suffering. He was oppressed, just like you, man. And he's saying, I mean, I'm lowly of heart. I'm not vaunting myself. I'm not showing off. I'm low, man. Even though I'm your king, I'm lowly of heart, man. I'm humble. I'm meek. I'm the king of the Jews. I want this and that. He's like, look, man, I'm just like you. I'm suffering. I'm in the ghettos, poor. But what's the point? Christ said, learn of me. Not learn me in the mosque. Not learn me in the church. Not learn me in Pan-Africanism saying, with Christ, his Horus, and Horus had 12 disciples, which is a lie. You know what I mean? Christ is saying, learn of me. Read on.
For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
So can anyone break that down? What is Christ talking about? My yoke is easy and my burden is light. What is he talking about?
You say it's not hard to serve me.
That's right. He's saying for you to serve me and to do what I want, that's easy, man. And it's light. You know what I mean? To do what I want you to do, that's light, man. Wake up blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that's light, man. For you to change your life for the better, that's light. Meanwhile, in religion, their yoke's heavy, man. Their yoke is burdensome. You can't gamble. You can't drink. You can't have more than one wife. That's burdensome. Maybe a man needs another wife. Maybe a man likes to gamble to stop him from sinning. Maybe a man likes to drink just to loosen him up. And their burdens are heavy, man. You're in the mosque. You got heavy burdens, man. You gotta wear some ridiculous man dress when you like to look good, man. You know what I mean? You're burdening yourself. You're hating yourself, and you don't want to wear that. As a black man, I know you don't want to wear that. You know what I mean? You're plagued with many things that are just traditions of man. And that's what religion does. Their burdens are heavy. While Christ is saying, my burden, that's light, man. What I want you to do, that's light compared to religion. Religion wants you to do some heavy burdens, no more gambling. You can't drink. It's the devil's nectar. You know what I mean? That's what they like to call it. Now, not all of them say it, but that's what some of them say. And their burdens are heavy, man. You can't wear name brand clothes. Adidas is Adidas is a Egyptian god. And yes, some of them say no sex. In some Christian sects of religion, they say no sex. And that's burdensome. You know what I mean? That's something a man cannot bear. Meanwhile, Christ is saying, my burden's light. In the church, their burden's heavy, man. No sex in like some of their religions or some of their denominations. No gambling, no name brand clothes. You know what I mean? No rap music, no music at all, no secular music. You know what I mean? You gotta listen to gay gospel music till the day that you die, man. And them burdens are heavy. Read on.
Right.
Okay, we was at Matthew 11 and 28.
Salakia. That was 30 is the last one.
Yes, that was the last verse.
Okay, no sweat then, that's my mistake. Let's get Isaiah for 49 and 5. Isaiah 49 and 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 5. And now said the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him.
All right. So now in the last scripture that we read, it said that his yoke is his yoke is easy and the burden light. So now we're going to read what this is, man. What's the yoke and the burden? Isaiah 49:5 says, you know, to be a servant, to bring Jacob again unto him. That's the burden there, man. And that's easy, man. That's light, man. Waking up your people that you love. That's light, man. Read on.
Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be Slakia, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah, so even though at the moment we are not one, there's still Israelites in the church, Israelites in the mosque. Yet in the eyes of the Lord, you are glorified, man. Every brother in the I.S.U.P.K, in the eyes of the Lord, you are glorious, man. Why? Because you're doing his work. Even though Israel ain't one yet, the Lord looks at you like you're wonderful, man. When you're at that camp on that mic, the Lord looks at you like you're glorious, man. You're glorified. When you do classes, when you read for the class, when you help to do this work of the Lord looks at you like, you know what, you are glorious, man.
Right.
Read on.
And my God shall be my strength.
Read on.
And he said, it is a light thing.
It is a what?
It is a light thing.
And where did we read that? It's light.
Christ said, my bread is light. Here, light, the most is a light thing, like the easy thing.
That's right. With Christ, he said that it was light. And even Isaiah, he's saying it's a light thing, man. I mean, it's easy for you to serve the Lord. It's easy, man. And then here we are in religion, doing the hard thing, doing things that God said you can do. It's like not doing things that God said you can do, man. Religion makes life harder. Like what people think is you serving the Lord, that's difficult. But in the church, it's easy. And it's the other way around, man. Even in sin, it's natural for you to feel sad. Like, you know what? I'm not living right. That's burdensome. Knowing that you're doing something wrong, that burdens you, man. Knowing that there's something you're supposed to be doing and you're not doing it, that's burdensome. While when you serve the Lord, you know what you should be doing and things become light. Read on.
That thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel.
And that's us, man. To raise up Israel and to preserve the restored of Israel. Read on.
I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles.
Now you had to read that, and there's a reason why, because someone read this and go, you see, you're gonna save the Israelites and the Gentiles, and that's not what it's talking about, man. You know what I mean? The Gentiles are scattered Israelites in the time of Isaiah, with the tribes Benjamin and the other tribes, they was in their land, while as Manasseh, Gad, Ephraim, they were scattered and they were Gentiles, man. So that's what it's talking about, meaning he's a light to those that are in the land, but also he's here to help them that ain't in the land. That's all what it means. Read on.
That thou mayst be my salvation unto the end of the earth.
And that's us in the UPK. We are his salvation to the end of the earth. Meaning, if anyone wants to be saved on this earth, you got to come to the I.S.U.P.K, man. We're that salvation to the ends of the earth. Wherever you are in the earth, there's only one place where you're going to get taught how to be saved, and that's the I.S.U.P.K, man, under commanding General YAHANNA.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's get Jeremiah 3 and verse 22. Let's grab Jeremiah 3 and 22.
Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 22. Return ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backslidings.
And listen to what the Lord's saying, man. Return unto me, and we're backsliding, man. What does it mean to backslide? Meaning there's a direction you're meant to go, but you're going backwards, man. What way are we meant to go in his laws, his statutes, his commandments? And we're backsliding in the church. We're backsliding in the mosque, man. We're backsliding in Pan-Africanism. Read on. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And also that if we return, he will heal our backsliding, meaning he'll help us. Just that we gotta start walking straight, man, instead of backsliding. Read on.
Behold, we come unto thee, for thou art the Lord our God.
And that's key, man. We come unto thee, for thou art the Lord our God, man. And that's what every black man needs to say, man, after this class, man. Right. That I come unto you because you're my God, man. I've been in the church serving another God. I've been in the mosque serving another God. But I come unto you because you're my God, man. Read on.
Truly, in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills.
So can anyone break this down? What does it mean? Uli, in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills. What's the point that is trying to be made here?
Salakia, it's because these, like in the idolatry that in ancient time they would actually set up an idol on the hills. Salakia, and it's talking about also the vain help that the religions and the heathens that we trust in.
That's right. Let's give him a hand. That's bang on. So we're saying that if you wanna get saved, then you hoping for one God in the hill, you wandering from religion to religion, it's vain, man. Black people, we don't lack in religion, man. You know what I mean? I've been all over the UK, in the ghettos, in the UK, and we don't lack in religion, man. I've been to Manchester in Moss-side, Longside, and there's a church everywhere, man. There's a mosque everywhere. I've been to Nottingham, Leicester, and there's a mosque and a church everywhere, man. And then, you know, in that mosque and the church, on every odd weekend, they have a Pan-African meeting too. So you mean we don't lack in religion, and it's vain, man. Salvation ain't there, man. If salvation was there, we would be saved by now, man. If the church was the way, we would be saved by now. If the mosque was the way, we would be saved by now, man. If believing in Horus and Seth and you know what I mean, or the Egyptian kings was the way, we would be saved by now. But all of it's vain, man. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills. Read on. So I think you might be off probably.
Sorry.
Like in the middle of verse 23.
And from the multitude of mountains, truly in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel.
And that's key right there, man. A black man wants to be saved. It's in the God of Israel, man. It's specific. The God of Israel. That's where salvation is, man.
Right.
It's not in no mosque. The God of Israel ain't in no mosque, man. The God of Israel ain't in no church, man. The God of Israel ain't dealing with Horus and Seth, man. The God of Israel is where a black man truly gets saved. The God of Israel is where a black man puts down that knife, where a black man fixes the ghetto, man. That's how it happens when you serve the God of Israel. Read on.
Verse 24. For shame hath devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth.
And that's key, man. Shame has devoured us, man. So what's that shame that has devoured us? In the context of what we are reading. That's right. Serving other gods has shamed us, man. How? We've been following the white man's God for 400 years, and what has changed? It still calls you a wog, a monkey, a jig. So shame has devoured you. We've been serving this God for 400 years, and we're ashamed, man. All you get is racial abuse. You serve the Arabs God, and what happens? You get shamed, man. They still call you Abid, Kala, Shidi. You know what I mean? So what does it do for us? It's devoured your labors. You worked serving, I'm going to serve their God. they're gonna look at me like one of theirs, and no, they don't, man. Read on.
Their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. 25.
You can't.
Down in our shame, and our confusion covereth us.
And that's key, man. Let you know that we lie down in our shame, meaning we go to bed embarrassed, man. Meaning you go to church and your white vicar hates your guts, man. You probably heard him say nigger 1 or 2 times, and you lie down in your shame. Whenever a white man racially abuses you, you're like, Rob, I serve his God. Like, what's wrong? You're shocked when Arabs call you color, and you know what I mean, you're in the Indian man shop like, yeah, this shitty wants this. You're like, what, like me? But I'm serving your God, and you go to bed in shame, man. You lie down like, what's happening? And you're confused. You're confused, like, but I'm serving your God, man. I'm doing what you want me to do, and it's not working. Read on.
For we have sinned against the Lord our God.
Being in the mosque, we have done what?
We have sinned against the Lord our God.
Being in the church, we did what?
We have sinned against the Lord our God.
And that's why that happens, man. Because we have sinned against our God. And the 2 biggest religions we follow, both are racist, man. Both for one race of people. Christianity is for Europeans, man. Islam is for Arabs. And we gotta accept it. And if we accept it, maybe we might find our God, man. Maybe we might find the God of Israel and leave these religions for good. Read on.
We and our fathers, from our youth even unto this day, and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God.
And that's it, man. Us and our granddads, man, like, you know what I mean? Our granddads, we were in the West Indies serving the white man's God. And even till this day, we have not obeyed his voice, man. We ain't came back and found that rest that the Bible's talking about, man. We ain't found that rest. We ain't found that peace. We ain't found our God. And that's the problem, man. Last thing, out of the dictionary, if someone can get salvation out of the dictionary.
Salvation, preservation or deliverance from harm, ruin.
And that's it, man. So now that's what salvation is right there, man. You deliver someone from harm. So even off the definition alone, why would everyone need to be saved? Does everyone need to be saved? No. Is every nation in harm? Does every nation need to be delivered from harm? No, they don't. But one race of people do, and that's you, black man. Right. You need to be delivered from harm. You're getting killed by white police officers in Hyde Park, about to get stabbed by Arabs and Somalians. You need delivering from harm, not every nation. Read on.
Chapter 4. If thou wilt return, O Israel, said the Lord, return unto me. And if thou wilt put away thine abominations out of my sight, then shalt thou not remove.
And imagine that's the answer right there, man. We put away our abominations, and he will make sure that we don't remove, meaning we don't get killed, we don't die, man. And that's something that religion never has its answers. You know what I mean? Ask pastors about your history, man. Black people suffering, has no answer. Ask your imam, no answer. You know what I mean? And that's one thing with the Bible that you will learn, is that you get an answer. Last scripture, John 4 and the 22nd verse. I go on. You got it for me. John 4 and 22.
John 4, the 22nd verse. Ye worship ye know not what.
And that's the problem. All these religions, they worship what they know not what, man. You know what I mean? While the two biggest religions enslaved black people and taught them lies, taught them being black was a defect, these same two religions come from you, man. Christianity was inspired by the Jews. Islam was influenced by the Jews, man. That's why when you read in that book, the 13th I with the Khazar king at the time, that's the reason why he followed Judaism, because he spoke to a spokesman of Christianity and he spoke to a spokesman of the Islam as well. And he says, okay, so your source, where does it originate from? And both of them said the Jews. And then he thought, well, hang on, why should I follow you if both of you both were influenced by the Jews? And that's when the Khazar king followed Judaism. And that's why you got the Jewish man today. Because he heard them both and goes, well, why am I following you lot? If both of you were inspired by the Jews, I might as well follow the source, man. I might as well follow, you know what I mean, who both of you are influenced by. And that's the problem. These religions worship what they know, not what. Read on.
We know what we worship.
Uh-huh.
For salvation is for the Jews.
And that's key. We know what we worship because God is only saving us, man. And that's what with Christ, he's saying, like, you know what I mean? You're following something and you don't know what you're doing. I know what I'm following because I know God is only saving me, man.
Right.
God's only giving salvation to me. And that's the class. I'm going to hand it over to Priest Nafsa of 5,000, Karafia.
Okay. That's the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. With the I.S.U.P.K, started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General GEN.YAHANNA, rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3 and 8-10, mean 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ashira, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. Priest fund, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like. Upcoming holy convocations, the Feast of Trumpets, all accounts at the bulletin board in the hallway, and check all I.S.U.P.K social media. Anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and stuff. With that, I remind them, we stand. And the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kudash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malach of Ka, Saba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Hawa, Hayah, Washemayim, Nathanawa, Nakam, Cow, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Kapsalak Nawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Wala'ah, Kabayi Nawa, Banasayawan, Abor, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahapara, I will love you, and in the English, our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. That when I give one clip to the teacher, Men of Israel, I Shabbat, I Barak, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Katah.
Yahweh Ba'Hashem Barakatam.
Yajamata. Class dismissed.